Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of the Excalibur Roundtable Tech Talk. I'm your host, Mike Fuson, and we're doing a special series called Knights of the Round Table, and it gives us the opportunity to meet the wonderful people that make up Excalibur Data Systems and make us so special. I'm joined today by Chris Mesecher. Chris, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me, Mike. Glad to be here.
Yes, it's been kind of exciting starting this series with the team and being able to talk a little bit about what makes our team so special. One of the things that is, I think, unique about the team at Excalibur is all of us come from an IT background. We've walked a mile in the client's shoes, and we did this and kind of happened into this software implementation and process implementation almost on accident as a result of very long careers in IT. And it's just something that's what we've come to love and want to do to help customers be successful. So Chris, tell me a little bit about your IT background. You've got kind of a storied history in IT.
Sure, absolutely. It's like, gosh, I've been in IT more than 25 years, and I started as many folks did back many years ago, kind of in the help desk type of role. In college, I actually worked for the state and was kind of a help desk, kind of a data analyst type of role, and then moved on from there to an insurance company, did more of the same, and then from there I worked for one of the big four accounting firms and was able to do a desktop role as my first position there, moved up and was able actually to make manager and worked for 15 years with them and managed for quite a long while as well. From there, went over to healthcare, and that's where I was exposed to you, of course, and to Excalibur and to Sharewell. So we were able to implement Sharewell at that healthcare company. Went from manager all the way up to director while I was there. And then, of course, had the great opportunity to come and work for Excalibur. And now it's been, 5.5 years I've been with Excalibur and Sharewell implementations. And so I've got almost 10 years of experience with Sharewell now. Hard to believe.
And at the healthcare company you were at, you wore a lot of different hats.
I did. Everything, from manage the desktop team, the service desk team, lots of data analysis. Obviously the ITSM tool, we used Trackit before Sharewell, and then of course, thankfully we moved on to Sharewell. But yeah, lots of different hats. It was a very interesting role for sure.
Well, and to share with our audience, Chris wears a few different hats here at Excalibur as well. Not only is he one of our senior architects and consultants in helping you get the most out of your IT service management platform, but Chris does some other things internally here. He graciously took off my hands managing all of our cell phones and all the accounts that go with that and the details. And so it was when we were getting ready to transition some stuff. Chris says, why don't you let me take care of that for you?
Right.
Something I have a lot of experience with dealing with, and it's one less thing to deal with. So it's interesting because many of the team members here wear kind of a hat helping to take care of internal processes.
Sure.
Within Excalibur, because you have that background, that experience in making sure that a certain process is followed and certain things are taken care of, or in a lot of cases you've already done it once, so now you know how to do it easily the next time because you made all the mistakes the first time.
Exactly.
It was the learning curve. And I had the great opportunity to work with Chris for a number of years as they were standing their system up until he didn't need me anymore. That's kind of one of the things that we do at Excalibur is teach you to fish. All of our the majority of our team are actually certified, as Chris is, a certified instructor in the technology. So we tend to be teachers to help make our clients self-sufficient, and then they leverage our knowledge as needed. So Chris needed me less and less on the day-to-day, and focused on very special projects or new initiatives and helping get those things stood up. So it was a lot of fun, and obviously from your very early days, you were exposed to the world of IT service management.
Exactly.
And leveraging the processes to make the organization successful.
Absolutely. With my Big Four accounting firm experience, I worked with Remedy, of course. That's kind of the first tool I was exposed to. And Well, it was a great tool. It was huge because we were a very large organization, so it was cumbersome and whatnot. So really, for us, I think it was great to get into Sharewell. It was much easier to work with and just a better tool all the way around, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and one of the things that Rob Gauguin from our team talks about a
Hmm.
lot is what's called he calls it the three-legged stool. I was calling it the pyramid. There's a lot of different examples,
Yeah,
but it's about people, process, and the tool. The
exactly.
tool is one element of that, and if you've
Sure.
got a good tool, and there are many good tools out there, we
Hmm.
represent a couple of the best tools on the market.
We do.
Um, but you've also got the people and process, and so one of the things your varied experience brings to the table is, as I talked about earlier, having walked a mile in the customer's shoes. You've been the director who's got
That's
to
right.
figure out how to make this stuff work, not, hey, I've talked to a lot of directors and
Hmm.
told them, what the book tells me is how this should be done. You've seen what works and what doesn't, and Rob and I are about to start a series what we're calling Slaying Dragons,
Hmm.
and that's one of the first topics we want to talk about is best practice frameworks and what they actually mean in reality for most organizations,
Exactly.
because they're a great roadmap, but then you got to figure out what works for the organization. And it's
Hmm.
hard sometimes as an implementer if you've not sat on the other side of the table
For
to
sure.
understand how not how transformative it can be,
Hmm.
because you've seen the outcome, but also the challenges that go into it and making it happen.
That's right.
Now, that's all the fun IT stuff. But as we see on the screen here, you're down in Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right.
Um, so tell us a little bit about Nashville. And I'm not going to let you off the hook. You got to tell everybody where you're originally from, because things start to make a whole lot more sense as to why you're still in Nashville.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. So I grew up in Wyoming, which Mike, of course, knows, and all those people who know me well. But while Wyoming was great, good place to grow up, it has horrible weather in the winter. Nashville's a bit more mild, which is wonderful. So, gosh, we've been in Nashville, 31 years now. So it's our home now for sure, and we love it. And it's Music City. It's just one of those great places to come. The Sherwell Conference was here a few years back, so it's just a really great city, vibrant city, growing like crazy, like many cities around the country. Um,
Well,
you know,
and it's the home of country music and
it
honky
is.
tonk, and so people think of the Grand Ole Opry
Hmm.
in Nashville, but we did have the opportunity when we had the conference a couple of years ago to actually visit some of the clubs that are in downtown and
Right.
watch a live band. And one of the things I still think back on to that experience was the band was up there, and there was line dancing, and there were instructors out there helping folks to
Hmm.
learn how to line dance, and they were doing traditional music. But one of the things we all kind of laughed about, which aged a lot of us, I wish there had been like a video camera in the front of the room that would have, when the guitar player started the riff for "Sweet Child of Mine,"
Oh yeah.
the whole intro to that, you saw a bunch of heads whip around because everybody knew what was about to come, and
Right.
you know everybody that was from that genre or liked that music. Um, we were all riveted because he really rocked the house
Oh, of course.
on that song. But it was a fantastic, and I've enjoyed over all of the years getting to come down and visit
Right.
and spend time, and
Hmm.
great food scene. Um,
Absolutely.
I think in my
Awesome.
visits with you, we've tried all kinds of
We
interesting
have indeed.
stuff,
Hmm.
and it really is a beautiful area for folks to visit. So if you've got
Definitely.
Nashville on your list, it's somewhere it's definitely somewhere you have to visit. And
Yes.
of course, while you're there, you can hit the Jack Daniels distillery.
It's right down the
Um,
road.
yeah, which on our last trip down, my wife and I had that opportunity to see
Nice.
some old friends from my high school growing up in California that
Yeah.
have migrated to Nashville, kind of the other side from where Chris is.
Yep.
Nashville, as a metropolitan area, has grown quite large.
Growing
Um, uh,
very, very large and larger every day. Yeah.
yeah, it really is beautiful.
It is awesome.
Now, Chris, you have a couple of hobbies,
We do.
um, and I'd like you to share a couple of those. And then if you don't share the one I'm thinking of, I'll get you in on it.
I'm sure you'll jump in and tell everybody if I don't pick it, right? So I think probably our favorite hobby is travel. We love to travel, get all around the United States and the Caribbean, of course. We love to cruise, so we're big travelers. We only have one child, so he's in Florida and at school, so we are down there often, to see him and see how things are going with him. That's kind of our big thing that we do these days is just traveling around to keep up with him.
Well, and Chris is kind of the cruise director at Excalibur, because if you haven't done a cruise before, Chris
True.
has a lot of experience with cruises, and especially for some of our folks that have younger families.
Right.
The Mesecher family is a Disney family.
That is true. We love Disney, and we have annual passes. We are there quite often. It's one of our favorite places, one of those magical places that everybody needs to go to. So.
And I think you guys have done some Disney cruises as well, haven't you?
We have. We've been on 3 actually. Yeah. So everybody should put on their list, regardless of their age and number of kids. It's just a really incredible experience to go on a Disney cruise.
So Chris is our resource that we go to when we have questions about stuff like that.
Right.
Because Chris has been there, done that, has the T-shirt. Like you said, you've done 3 Disney cruises. So
yes. Well,
if I knew then what I know now, here's the things to think about and avoid. And now as for many of us, the lockdown and the struggle from the pandemic is lightening up.
For sure.
Cruises have come back finally.
Finally.
And it took a while
really
to bring those things back. But the Mesecher family is our go-to folks, because they've got that experience.
Yes, we love vacation.
And I always kind of find it interesting. I've known Chris for many years, going on probably 10 or more years.
10 years, yeah.
And it's hard for me to imagine that your son is in college already, because it doesn't seem like that long ago.
I know.
He was a little guy who's now taller than Chris is. And we will put a plug in. Chris's son is actually a top collegiate bowler. And it's been very neat to watch as that has come along. I had a chance to visit with Chris and his family, and bowling was something that kind of just happened. And your son, Matthew, it was one of those things. It was something he took to.
It did,
and he became he became a top high school bowler, nationally ranked, and it's pretty cool. And I still haven't beaten him at pool yet, but I have on my list. That's one of the things on my bucket list. I have to beat Matthew at a game of billiards. But
that's right. It's a good challenge.
It's a good goal. I have to wait till he's got a cast on his arm or something, see if I can take him. But Chris, thank you for joining me today. It's always wonderful to get a chance to chat. And I think that the series is going to be great, because it lets our customers learn a little bit about our wonderful team, because I think our team is really, for our customers, what makes the difference in their success in implementing tools and process. And getting them to what their goals are.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
All right. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Stay tuned for future episodes as you can meet other Knights of the Round Table. And we'll see you all soon. Thanks, everyone.